Hey everybody, welcome back to my Dollar Tree Pumpkin Ideas series. This is part 2, where we are going to take things like this basket and these metal trays, and we're going to turn them into easy, cheap, and really cute fall decor for your home. Last minute ideas for you coming up right now, so stay tuned. Okay, everybody, so we're going to jump right in with this Round Harvest Half Pumpkin sign. And I started out with this Nautical chalk paint, as well as some of the florals, the metal words, and the ribbon that you see here. Also some burlap, lace, and twine because, you know, it is a country farmhouse decor. And we are using one of these baskets from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm using my scissors literally to just take the top and the bottom off of this basket. What you want to do is remove the top first, as close to the rim as you can. Leave as much of the mesh on this basket as you possibly can. Then go ahead and take your scissors and go around the bottom and remove the bottom as well. Now what I'm doing here is folding over some fabric and using my needle nose pliers to sort of bend the pieces that were sticking out from this rim over so that they're nice and flat. You don't want to mark up the front of this. Okay, now that the circle is nice and smooth, we're going to lay it down on top of this mesh and we're just going to cut a piece. We're going to start on the back of the round piece that we're going to be using as the back, and we're going to lay that mesh over. We're going to hot glue it to that circle. Don't worry about what's happening down at the bottom. It's going to be totally fine. Now use your scissors and trim as close as possible to the circle as you can until your piece looks like this. Be really careful, guys. This is metal. Just, use some protection and take a little bit of extra time to do that cutting. And now we're going to take this damaged pumpkin from the Dollar Tree and we're going to use the seam that they give us and we're going to cut this in half. You only need 1/2 of this pumpkin for this DIY and you don't need the stem. The next thing I wanted to do was use some blue jean fabric. So I just sort of figured out how much I would need by placing the pumpkin on top of the fabric. I cut a piece and now I'm taking all the extra bulk out of this. So I'm just going to cut along the seams, remove that. I'll end up with 2 pieces of blue jean fabric when I do this. Okay, so I brought in my measuring tape and I figured out I wanted about 2-inch strips to cover this. I'm just going to take my scissors and snip this off at the bottom. And what's great about this fabric is it literally just pulls right apart. Gives it that country farmhouse look with the frayed edge. I really like that. Now I'm going to come in with my Nautical chalk paint, guys. I love this color. It is a staple in my fall decor this year, and I really just did this for a little insurance. So I'm going to use the fabric strips of, it's denim, and I'm going to use some hot glue and just glue this down. I'm going to make sure that my first piece overlaps the edge, and I'm going to go over 2 strips here on the left and then 2 on the right, and I'm just going to keep alternating until I meet in the middle. I'm just adding some hot glue wherever I feel like it's necessary, and then on the edges I'm just going to trim it off kind of close to the pumpkin, but give me enough left over that I can sort of bend that over the pumpkin, use some hot glue, and finish it off. And guys, this is one of these projects that you could leave it just like this if you wanted to, with the frayed edges. That would be a great little country look on this pumpkin, but I am going to be bringing in some lace ribbon here in a moment to sort of finish it off, but I really do like that look as well. But again, I just wanted to bring it up a notch, and I feel like this lace ribbon to cover the seams on this really just took it up a notch. Look at that. That's really, really cute, guys, and really easy to do. And that pumpkin is going to cover the bottom edge of that round metal piece that we cut off. Remember, that bottom didn't quite stretch as far as we needed it to cover it completely, but the bottom of the pumpkin is going to take care of that. Now I'm bringing in some floral wire and just kind of pushing it down into the pumpkin on either side, and I'm going to use some hot glue to keep that in place. And then we're going to measure by sticking it through the back of this little piece, or from the front to the back, and I'm using hot glue to attach the pumpkin there to keep it on the bottom edge of this as well. That's where that's going to sort of keep that in place. And then we'll snip off the excess on this wire. We'll bend it over and we'll push it back into the other side of the pumpkin through that mesh. You'll see it sort of kind of come around the mesh there. We'll use some hot glue to keep that in place as well. And now we have a great piece where we can start bringing in some more Dollar Tree florals. I'm using some of these leaves and some of the flowers that you see here. I'm just going to start pulling things apart, and then we will start to assemble our little floral decor. I really love this yellow sunflower along with these yellow and orange colored leaves, and I am just kind of popping those down in there, using a little hot glue here and there to tack things in place. And I'm even using some of those mini mums. You'll see here on the back that, it doesn't stick out the back of the mesh. It actually sticks down inside the hole where the pumpkin is. And I did use a little bit of hot glue just to tack that in place. Then I'm going to take this ribbon. It is the orange and the blue gingham from Dollar Tree. And I'm making a very simple bow with both of those, cutting it off. I'm going to hot glue it to a piece of the floral wire that I had cut off the pumpkin when we were attaching that to the round mesh piece. So, just make a bow as large or as small as you want. And guys, this is optional. All of this is optional. You can use different florals, you can use different wire, you can use, different ribbon, whatever your decor calls for. But I just found that this was super easy to attach to the wire, fluff it up a little bit, and then just drop it down into the pumpkin, and it keeps it in place with just a little bit of hot glue. And guys, I mean, it's so cute, but I wanted to add the metal word harvest to this, and I didn't even, paint it. I just kept it in the finish that it is in, which is sort of that rustic galvanized look. This is how it comes in the package. And guys, there it is. This is my harvest round half pumpkin sign for fall. I really, really hope that you like it. Now we're going to move into the second DIY. I took 3 of those trays and I spray painted them with white chalk paint. And I'm going to use some more of the Dollar Tree florals and their ribbon. I just absolutely love it. Again, all of these items, they will be in the description box below. Listen guys, if you're new here, please consider subscribing down below. I would really love to have you as a member of the Row Country family here on YouTube. And to my returning subscribers, hey guys, thanks so much for checking out yet another one of my video. I really appreciate your support so much. Now we're gonna really just dive in here. I'm taking that Nautical chalk paint from Folk Art. I absolutely love it, and I'm going to give 2 of these trays a really just nice, decent coverage, but I'm not going to give it a complete perfect paint job. And I'm also going to take 4 of those craft sticks or popsicle sticks, and I'm going to actually paint those in this same color, and this is going to be the base of our next DIY. So as you can see, there are some brush strokes in there, and I really like that rustic look of that paint job. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to take 2 of those popsicle sticks and some of this super glue gel, which actually I feel works so much better than, you know, the liquid super glue. And I'm using that combination. I'm going to put 2 on the back, and that's going to help keep these 2 trays together. But I'm also going to reinforce that on the front part of this, so hot glue and some super glue gel, and I'm going to make sure that that sets up really well before I move on. And then that third piece will sit there in the center of these 2, so the blue kind of, you know, encompasses the white. And I'm using the same method, and I'm just sort of lining it up. I'm eyeballing it, guys. I'm not even measuring, and I'm just going to press that down there in the center and let it sit up, and that's going to work out really well. And then I just took some Waverly white chalk paint that I had left over and really roughed up the finish on that blue jean background, and I think that's really going to tie in my decor this year for fall super well. I grabbed another stick or 3 from my yard, and I hot glued them in between the trays. And now I'm just taking some ribbon, and guys, there was no rhyme or reason for this, and this is what I love about this kind of, you know, process when I'm doing some country farmhouse decor for myself. I really just sort of wing it, and that's what happened here. I grabbed some ribbon that I love and that I thought would work well together with fall colors, and I just started, you know, looping them around the 3 sticks that are attached to these trays, and I brought the ribbon around and just tied it once. I didn't even knot it down. I just sort of looped it around and tied it, and then when that's all finished, I'll give everything a nice dovetail finish. And during the process, I decided to use some twine as well, and I really like how those ribbons go together. Now I'm going to start bringing in the florals on this. And again, guys, this is literally your decision. You don't have to, you know, copy this to the exact way that I did it. In fact, I don't even remember, you know, thinking that, oh, I'm going to definitely use leaves in this. But I thought overall it would go with the other decor pieces that I made. So I did start by using a layer of these, you know, yellows and oranges and some of those deep burgundies in these leaves as the background. And I'm just using hot glue to tack them to the back of the trays. And now I'm using some of this, again, the yellow sunflower is my favorite, but I also brought in some of these mini mums that I had pieces left over from the other DIYs that we have done. And hot glue is your friend here, guys, but you want to use protection on your fingers because, you know, you are using these small, delicate little flowers, and those are going to really just frame out this yellow sunflower. I found a little bit of greenery left over that kind of spikes up, and I used that with some hot glue to attach it to the very top of the tray here. And now what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and figure out the length of these ribbons overall. I'm going to cut those down and start dovetailing everything as I mentioned before, and that's really going to wrap up this second DIY. So I really hope that you all enjoyed this little series that I put together. There are a total of 5 pumpkin DIYs. There's another video coming out very soon of a wreath that I did, and that will wrap up all of my fall DIYs, and I'm jumping into Christmas really soon, everybody. So I really hope that you like this country farmhouse fall decor, these pumpkin ideas part 2. I hope you'll subscribe and watch another video while you're here, and I will see you in my next one. Thanks, everybody. Bye.